So, so the upperclassmen, they catch me right when I get off the bus and they tell me I'm not going anywhere. And I was like, bro, the man kicked me off. He's sending me home. He's like, nah, you not going home. You're not going nowhere. I was like, bro, it's a done deal. My mom is on the way. I was like, you not going nowhere, bro. We going to talk to him. You're not going nowhere. What did we tell you before? I was like, F Mr. Kelly. They was like, yeah, F Mr. Kelly. You not going nowhere, right? So I go and I sit in the band room because I think that's where they told me to go. They was like, just go chill in the band room. Like they were basically saying like, get lost but don't leave, right? Leave but don't leave because you're not leaving. You know what I mean? And so I'm like, all right. So I go sit in the band room because Mr. Kelly's doing stuff elsewhere and all of that type of stuff. I'm just listening to him, but I'm like, I know I'm going home. Like my mom she's on her way. She's not far from the school. And so I'm sitting down and in walks, you guessed it, Mr. Kelly. And he looks over at me like this. He's walking and he sees me from his peripheral and he goes, I thought I told you to go home. Like he couldn't even look at me. He couldn't even look at me. I thought I told you to go home. And I was like, I am. And I was like, I am. He was like, then go. I was like, I'm waiting on my mother. I'm waiting on my ride. And so, like, what are you gonna say? Like, wait outside? No, like, bro, I'm like, chill out. You doing too much. You know what I mean? Like, you've been doing too much, but it is what it is. And so, and so Glenn, the dude who got me into the trouble, is and Omari is in the percussion closet. It's off to the side somewhere. This is important to know for later. And so Glenn is talking to him. He's petitioning for me. And he's like, look, you can't let him leave. And he's like, why not? He was like, we need him. We need him to play with us. We need X, Y, and Z drummers. We can't da 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 da. We got a competition to win. Do X, Y, and Z later, but we can't do this right now. We got this and that to win. We got to do da 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 da. And Mr. Kelly goes, I can't let him back out on the field, Glenn. I can't. And he's like, why not? Like, why can't you? He's like, and this is like again, as an adult, like stuff that you don't understand. Like when you 14, like your frontal lobe is fully developed now. You understand a lot more than what you didn't understand back then, right? You understand more about like why somebody might be upset about something. Why like a 14-year-old kid playing the drums might to you seem like they're upstaging you or whatever it is. And so he's like, I can't let him back out on the field. He's like, why? He was like, because it's Keith. I'm like, what? I'm sitting there like, what? Like, and I've always had an issue with that. Like, people put me up on, like, they put me somewhere in their mind, like somewhere that I don't even think that I am. You know what I mean? Like, whether it be good or bad, they put me up on this pedestal. And I'm like, bro, I didn't even know that you thought that about me. You know what I'm saying? Enough to make a 40-something-year-old man say about a 14-year-old boy because it's Keith. Like, what is it about me that you feel intimidated by or upset about or enraged about? Like, what is it? He said, because it's Keith. Like, dramatic pause. Because it's Keith. Like, blurting it out like we're in some daggone rom-com or like Jerry Maguire or something like that. Because it's Keith. You don't even know the kid. He's like, what do you mean I don't know him? I play with him every day. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we do practice every day with the dude. He said, and he just started making up stuff because he starts fights. Nobody likes him. He always makes fun of me. Da 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 da. Like, like now that part is true. I don't start fights. People did like me. You know what I mean? But like, I didn't start fights. But yes, you would get made fun of after a while. That's the only way I could cope, man, because you do stuff like this and it doesn't stop. You know what I mean? And so he's like, he goes, because it's Keith, you don't even know the kid. He starts fights, this, that, and the third. And he said, but you gotta let him back on the field. He said, if I let him back out on the field, He said, why can't you let him back out on the field? He's like, because he's going to make a fool out of me. I'm like, wow, I'm really living rent free in this dude's head. Again, I'm 14. I'm living, and he is the band director over at least 300 students. But Keith is the person that you focused on. He said, because he's going to make a fool out of me, along with his partner in crime, Omari. It's Omari. Omari is sitting in the closet just dying. I can't let him back out on the field. If I let him back out on the field, he's going to make a fool out of me, along with his partner in crime, Omari.